Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm going to be reacting to Trick to be Free from Law of Karma. So this is a very short one, but this in fact caught my eye. It's like a trick to be free from law of karma. I do have an understanding. Of course, detachment is that trick, but is there like another trick, like an easier trick perhaps? Now, mind you, me, I'm not complete detachment. I do like the idea of enjoying the good things in life and detaching from the sorrow or samsara. I sound so fancy when I say that, like I know what I'm talking about. But the truth of the matter is, it's not complete detachment. Uh, why not enjoy the spoils of life? Well, it sounds weird to say spoils, but why not enjoy the good things in life and to detach yourself from the things that are, well, samsara in a sense, suffering? Would not that be the best way to live life, or would complete detachment be the better way? Now, mind you, like I said, attachment to the good things in life, but detachment from the suffering. So if there's a good thing, you attach yourself to it, but if that good thing turns bad, you detach yourself from it. So you do not suffer from what happens to be good at one moment then becomes bad. So it's hard, of course, but I've done it. I've done it a few times, many times. I won't say many times, but a few times where it was a good thing, and then now there's suffering from it, but I detached myself from it. I guess a great example is I did buy a car recently to try to save on gas, and there's issues in the car. So I was attached to the car because it's very nice and being able to save on gas. But now there's issues, but it's under warranty, so it's nothing out of my pocket. But I don't suffer because of the things. That's a decent example, maybe not maybe the best, but you hopefully that gives you an idea of what I'm trying to talk about. But let's go ahead and see what he has to say about this.
The question is, this Jivan Mukta Purush, he can express anything that he likes. There is no rule applied. When I am not driving the car, the traffic rules are not applied on me. I am a passenger. So devotee is the one who doesn't live his life. For him, jo thari rahe so mari rahe. And therefore, a devotee does not fall in the purview of law of karma. How simple it is. Then how his life is lived? Like a Jivan Mukta. Therefore, give yourself zero choice. Live with zero complaint level. See, friends, slowly our mind dissolves. And thereafter, the life is lived through us rather than we living the life. Dukkeshu anudvignamanaha. Miseries will be experienced, but miserable body will not be born. Sukheshu vigataspruhaha. Although all comforts are there, but he will not be enslaved by the comforts of life. That is Jivan Mukta. Therefore, he has a freedom, whether he will go to temple or not, whether he will talk or not. He is not bound by any do's and don'ts of life.
I'll have to listen to that one part again.
Friends, slowly our mind dissolves, and thereafter the life is lived through us rather than we living the life. Okay?
So it's kind of like go with the flow almost. Going with the flow means that you go with what choices have been made for you for the most part. It's not to say that you have no choice, which is, I mean, I'll say this, I guess from a Western perspective, or maybe even just not necessarily Western, just people who don't follow this, it's like, why would you not want a choice? I understand what he's trying to say, because if you have no choice, then you just have to go with what you got. There's no complaining to be done because it's not a decision that you had to make. is you have to accept what you are given in a sense.
Eshu anudvignamanaha. Miseries will be experienced, but miserable body will not be born. Sukheshu vigataspruhaha. Although all comforts are there, but he will not be enslaved by the comforts of life.
That's what I wanted him to repeat.
Sukheshu vigataspruhaha. Although all comforts are there, but he will not be enslaved by the comforts of life. That is Jivan Mukta. Therefore, he has a freedom, whether he will go to temple or not, whether he will talk or not. He is not bound by any do's and don'ts of life.
I didn't get that.
Although all comforts are there, but he will not be enslaved, but miserable body will not be born. Sukheshu vigataspruhaha.
That phrase right there. I have no idea what he said there, and I don't think he completely translate everything he says. So I think that might be the one reason why I have difficulty understanding him. He's kind of like the a lot of dual speakers where they go between languages, which is something I've said about in the Sanskrit video that I reacted to. I find it kind of, like I said, I find it kind of funny. My mom does it, and I've always wondered why. I did ask her. It's like we have these words in our language. Why do you interchange them with English words? The answer she gave me was it's easier. I'm like, and I'm trying to think back. Whenever I spoke our language, I don't think I ever used an English word unless we did not have the word in our language. Kind of the funny thing was, whenever I went back home, I asked my cousins. Like, we went to go out and eat some pizza. It's like, what is this called in our language? Because we didn't have pizza whenever I was there, and now they're starting to have like pizza. So I was like, so this is a pizza. So what is it called in our language? Pizza. I'm like, and I was like, why is that? It's like, because we don't have that in our language, and it's just easier to call it pizza. It's like, oh, I guess that makes sense. You know, just adopt the word so there's no confusion. Pizza in our language, pizza in English, so it's pizza. But anyways, I wish he would. It's fine for him to say in Hindi, obviously. I just wish it would translate. He's speaking in English, then he goes in Hindi. So obviously his target audience must be bilingual. Most of his audience is bilingual, I'm sure of it, but I'm not. So I kind of get lost a bit whenever he
Miseries will
speaks.
be experienced, but miserable body will not be born. Sukheshu vigataspruhaha. Although all comforts are there, but he will not be enslaved by the comforts of life.
So, enslave the comforts of life. I'm assuming the sheer fact of pleasures in life. Comforts you can look at as pleasures, because what is pleasurable one moment may not be pleasurable in another. So, therefore, when pleasure becomes suffering, you are not enslaved by the pleasures of life, because you will lose what once was pleasure is now suffering. So, you're no longer enslaved by the pleasure by suffering from it. Because another thing would be, it's like when you had pleasure, you want maybe more of it, maybe more of whatever this pleasure is. So you become enslaved by the pleasure by wanting more and more and more of it. It's kind of like bad terminology here, or not bad terminology, but I guess a negative saying, but like kind of like people who are addicted to drugs. That they have a small hit and they just end up going higher and higher in terms of the tiers of abuse that they take, and it gets pretty bad. But again, what he's trying to say here is enslave of the comforts, enslave of the pleasures. Either you want more of it, and when you don't have more of it, you suffer from it, or what was once pleasure is now torture. You're no longer having pleasure from this thing, it's being torturous. I hope I understood him. So anyway, that's my reaction to the trick to be free from the laws of karma. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up the sound down below. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next vid.